What's going on, guys? It's Mr. DEBT Joe Lorick from the Money Etiquette Group, here to talk about the breaking news that Charles Schwab will be purchasing Ameritrade. Again, Charles Schwab, the brokerage company, is going to be purchasing Ameritrade. And this shouldn't be surprising to most of you that have been paying attention, because when the industry started going the direction of we're going to do zero fee online trading commissions, that was going to hurt a lot of businesses in the industry that depended heavily on those commissions for revenue. I mean, TD Ameritrade gets 23% of its revenues from those online commissions. And they said that they were going to go to zero. So how do you make up for 23% of your revenue? On the flip side, Charles Schwab, they are about, it's about 8% of their revenue. So I see why they can take the hit, especially with the other acquisitions that they made or they're going to make in 2020, but we'll talk about that later. But this is a big deal because it just shows that when the industry changes, some are going to be able to adjust and some are not. And I like it for all consumers, all customers, because ultimately we all win. When the standard is $0 free online commission-free trades, then everyone has to do it. Keep in mind, even though everyone's dropping their commissions when it comes to online trades, there are other fees that are associated with it. I know Charles Schwab, they're still going to charge roughly a 65 cents contract fee. But that's better than having to pay $4.95, which was their previous fee. And they changed that in October when they went to zero. So this is big news for the industry. Of course, when it comes to their stock, you're going to see TD Ameritrade stock go up, at least today, because they're the company that's technically being acquired. Charles Schwab, their stock may go down a little bit, but that's to be expected in the short term until this is fully announced and until the agreement is fully put out there for the public. The expectation is for this deal to close second quarter, third quarter 2020. And apparently 2020 is going to be a big and busy time frame for Charles Schwab, because they also should be closing on their deal with USAA. If you weren't aware, they did purchase USAA's investment management company, which is roughly 1 million accounts. It represents maybe $7 billion in assets that they will be managing. So we'll see how that goes. So it looks like they're making big power moves for 2020. Charles Schwab again with purchasing USAA and now Ameritrade. Ultimately, these type of mergers happen, especially when there's change in the industry and some people can't keep up. I mean, even if you think back to about 10, 15 years ago when MBNA, the credit card company, was purchased by Bank of America, when they saw the industry changing, when they saw that they needed to diversify, but they couldn't do it themselves, they couldn't get into mortgage themselves, and they saw that honestly, that the recession was coming, they made a decision to go ahead and sell. And I think this is what we see here. Banks do know and are aware that things aren't going to be as good as they are today in the next 2 to 3 years, because we will be in a recession. My prediction is that by 2020, we're going to start a recession. But nevertheless, banks recognize what's happening. Financial institutions recognize what's happening. So they're adjusting and making sure that they can handle all things. But again, when we get to the size of this company, I mean, this is a huge company. I'm talking about Charles Schwab combining with Ameritrade, because we're talking about $5 trillion in assets. We're also talking about 25 million clients and 30,000 employees. That's how big the company will be once it's combined. Now, there could be some expectation that you will have a reduced payroll and you will have a reduced workforce, because obviously you're going to have redundancies. I don't know if there are going to be major cuts, but usually when there's these type of mergers or these type of acquisitions, there are cuts. So let's just say right now they have 30,000 combined if they kept everyone. So let's just say maybe 25,000 should be the expectation, maybe even 28,000. And I think that's kind. That's still not a harsh layoff when it comes to mergers. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. And this is big news for those who like to buy stock and investment companies, because it shows that the industry is consolidating a little bit, but it also shows that there are opportunities to take advantage of companies that aren't doing as well. Because again, if you went ahead and let's just say you knew Ameritrade depended on 26% of their revenue for commissions, and they said they're going to cut commissions, you would know that the stock price is going to go down. That's not what investors want to hear, and you know that the company's not going to go out of business. So you can say, okay, well, they have to get a fix, so they're likely a target for acquisition, and then they are going to be acquired. The deal isn't official. It hasn't been announced, but they said as soon as today, there could be an announcement that the deal is done, at least on paper, and certainly by 2020 is when it will close out. But guys, you can let me know what you think about the deal. If you like Ameritrade, if you've traded with them, If you like any of the companies I mentioned, if you are a USAA customer, how do you feel about your money going over to Charles Schwab? Maybe you are a Charles Schwab investor, maybe you're a person that uses their services. What do you think about their services? And do you think that this will only make things better? Or do you think that by combining and with all these acquisitions, it's going to make customer service lack a little bit? Maybe you're worried about it. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Again, guys, keep your eye out on the stock because it's going to be going up and down throughout the day in terms of Charles Schwab should be dropping and TD Ameritrade will be going up. But of course, when we get closer to the actual closing date, which is going to be in 2020, then we will see another adjustment when it comes to the stock price. All right, guys, make sure you leave a comment in the comment section. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on your alerts. You never know when we're going to drop a video about an IPO, about a stock, or a move in the finance industry. We talk about budgeting. We talk about IPOs, as I said. We even have lessons for children when it comes to learning multiplication and how to budget. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to your comment.